Let's rewind to 2017 in Manchester, England. 26-year-old Emily Hartley lived a quiet life with her boyfriend, Liam Carter. She worked part-time at a local boutique and spent most of her free time scrolling through Instagram. Her posts were modest: coffee mornings, weekend hikes, and the occasional selfie. Nothing extravagant, nothing that should draw attention. But somewhere out there, someone was watching. Someone named Sarah Delaney. Sarah was in her early 30s, living alone in a small flat outside Manchester. She had no job history, no family nearby, and very few friends. But she had one thing in common with Emily: Instagram. The two women never met. They weren't friends. But Sarah followed Emily religiously. Every post, every story, every comment. She even saved screenshots of Emily's photos, organizing them into folders labeled by date and event. What started as curiosity soon turned into fixation. Sarah began commenting on Emily's old posts, always vague but oddly specific. "You looked so peaceful that day. I hope you're safe tonight." Emily brushed it off at first. Just another weirdo lurking online. But then came the direct messages. At first, they were simple, innocuous. A compliment here, a question there. "Love your style," or "How do you stay so calm?" But over time, they grew stranger, more personal. Sarah asked where Emily worked, where she went on weekends, if she ever traveled alone. Emily stopped responding, but Sarah didn't stop sending them. Liam noticed a change in Emily. She became anxious, checking her phone constantly, deleting followers, and tightening her privacy settings. One night, she showed him a message from Sarah that read, "I know where you go every Tuesday. I see you." Emily laughed it off, but Liam didn't. Emily had no idea that her life was being watched so closely, that someone had built a mental map of her routines, her habits, her relationships, all from behind a screen. This wasn't just admiration. This was surveillance. And for Sarah, it was only the beginning. Have you ever received a message that made your skin crawl? Share your experience in the comments. Sarah Delaney lived a solitary life. She rarely left her apartment. She had no social circle to speak of, no romantic relationships. But what she did have was time and an obsession that consumed her. Emily wasn't the only person she followed, but she was the only one who mattered. Investigators later discovered that Sarah had been following dozens of other women before Emily, most of them young, most of them attractive, but none of them received the same level of attention. Emily stood out, maybe because she was happy, maybe because she was in love, or maybe because she represented something Sarah could never have, a life that felt real. Sarah's fascination with Emily wasn't random. It was methodical. She studied her like a puzzle to be solved. She noted the brands Emily wore, the music she played in the background of her videos, even the way she styled her hair. Every detail was cataloged, every post dissected. Sarah didn't just follow Emily. She absorbed her. She memorized her rhythms. She learned when Emily felt confident, when she felt insecure, when she was alone. And she waited, patiently, quietly, until the moment came to take it all. As Sarah dug deeper, she learned more about Emily than anyone should. She knew when she woke up, when she went to work, which cafes she frequented on Sundays. She even figured out where Emily bought her clothes, thanks to the tags she sometimes left visible in her selfies. Sarah studied these details like they were clues in a mystery only she understood. She tracked Emily's gym visits, her grocery runs, even the way she paused at street corners, lost in thought. To Sarah, Emily wasn't just a stranger online. She was a mirror, a reflection of everything Sarah had never achieved, and she couldn't look away. She created fake accounts to follow Emily's inner circle too, friends, co-workers, even Liam's gym page. She liked old posts, commented on throwback photos, watched their lives unfold like a TV show. But unlike binge-watching a series, this was real, and Sarah wanted to be part of it. She didn't just observe, she mimicked. She adopted Emily's fashion sense. She listened to the same music. She even tried to replicate her coffee orders. In her mind, they were already connected. The rest of the world just hadn't caught on yet. In the summer of 2018, Sarah took it a step further. She began sending private messages, not just to Emily, but to people close to her. Some claimed they'd seen her around town, at the mall, outside the boutique. Once, a friend of Emily said she spotted Sarah sitting across from the shop window, staring inside for nearly an hour without moving. When confronted, Sarah smiled politely and walked away. Emily never saw her in person, not once, but the feeling of being watched became unbearable. She started changing routes home, avoiding certain stores. She even considered deleting her account altogether, but she held off, hoping it would all blow over, hoping Sarah would lose interest. But Sarah didn't lose interest. She gained it. By late 2018, Sarah had begun crafting a digital shrine to Emily. Investigators later found it hidden in a password-protected folder on her laptop. It contained hundreds of screenshots, downloaded videos, and even printouts of Emily's old Instagram stories. Each image carefully labeled with dates, locations, and notes in the margins. Things like wore blue today, calm demeanor, or visited coffee shop again. Alone, there were also disturbing additions. Handwritten journal entries describing how she imagined Emily's life, how she thought she must feel, what she believed Emily needed. One entry read, "He doesn't deserve her. He'll ruin her. I can protect her better." Another said, "I understand her. I'm the only one who really does." To Sarah, this wasn't stalking. It was connection. It was destiny. She believed she and Emily were meant to meet, that somehow, someday they would. In her mind, Emily already knew. She just hadn't realized it yet. Back in Manchester, Emily was starting to feel the weight of it all. The constant notifications, the odd comments, the sense that someone was always looking over her shoulder. Even when she was alone, she told Liam, "It's like she knows me, like she's reading my thoughts." One evening, after a long day at work, Emily sat on the couch beside Liam and opened her laptop. She scrolled through her follower list again, scanning names, trying to spot anything suspicious. Then she froze. A new follower, S. Delaney. Again, she'd blocked her before, multiple times. So why was she back? This time, though, the profile picture was different. A photo of Emily herself, taken from a public post. Her name was changed to Sarah Hartley, Emily's maiden name. Liam stared at the screen, stunned. This wasn't just creepy. This was invasive. This was crossing a line. They reported the account immediately. Instagram flagged it, banned the username. But within days, another one appeared. Then another, each one eerily similar. Each one filled with cryptic comments and unsettling messages. Emily tried everything. She set her account to private, deleted years of old content, removed tags, blurred faces, avoided geotagging. For weeks, the silence felt comforting. She breathed easier, slept better, even joked with Liam. Maybe she finally gave up. But Sarah hadn't given up. She'd gone silent to study harder, to plan smarter, to wait for the perfect moment to strike. And when that moment came, Emily wouldn't be ready. Sarah's obsession wasn't just digital. It bled into reality. By 2019, she'd begun mapping Emily's daily life with precision. She knew which bus Emily took to work, which barista she flirted with at the cafe, even the name of the neighbor who walked his dog past her apartment every morning. Sarah memorized it all. She created a timeline of Emily's existence, minute by minute, day by day, and she started testing boundaries. One afternoon, Emily arrived at the boutique to find a bouquet of white lilies on her desk. No card, no delivery receipt, just the flowers, her favorite. Her co-workers joked about a secret admirer, but Emily felt only dread. She threw the bouquet away without touching it. That night, Liam found her stare at her phone, scrolling through old messages. "She's in my head," Emily whispered. "She's everywhere." Sarah's games escalated. She began commenting on Emily's old post again, this time with eerie predictions. "You'll be alone soon. He doesn't understand you like I do." Emily deleted the comments, but they kept reappearing, under new usernames, new profiles. The messages grew more intimate, more threatening. One read, "You need to be free. I can help." Another, "He's holding you back. I'll fix it." Emily's anxiety spiraled. She stopped going to the cafe, changed her route to work, even asked Liam to walk her to the bus stop. But Sarah was always one step ahead. Investigators later found a disturbing pattern in Sarah's behavior. She didn't just stalk Emily. She became her. She copied Emily's fashion choices, reposted her old travel photos on fake accounts, even adopted Emily's favorite song as her own. Neighbors near Sarah's flat reported hearing her talk to herself in the middle of the night, murmuring Emily's name. One neighbor recalled seeing Sarah standing outside a secondhand clothing store, clutching a photo of Emily and whispering, "Soon, soon." But Sarah wasn't just mirroring Emily. She was preparing to replace her. By early 2019, Sarah had begun crafting a new identity. She created a blog under the name Megan Hartley, a near-identical version of Emily's own name. The blog featured curated photos of Emily's life, stolen from social media. She wrote as if she were Emily. "Today was peaceful. I felt calm. Liam doesn't understand me, but maybe he will soon." The blog vanished within days, but not before a reader took screenshots and shared them online. Emily saw them. Her blood ran cold. Someone was living her life through a screen, and they were getting closer. Emily's paranoia deepened. She started carrying a small knife in her purse. She installed motion sensors on her windows. She even hired a private investigator to track down Sarah. But the trail led nowhere. Sarah was careful. She used burner phones, paid for internet access and cash, never posted from her home address. And yet, her presence felt inescapable. Emily found herself questioning everything. Was the woman at the grocery store really staring at her? Did the barista know her name, or was she just imagining it? She stopped trusting strangers, then friends, then Liam. Liam tried to reassure her. He filed reports, blocked accounts, even hired a cybersecurity expert to trace Sarah's digital footprints. But the expert's findings were chilling. Sarah wasn't just watching. She was learning. The expert discovered a folder on Sarah's laptop labeled Phase 2. Inside were detailed notes on Emily's routines, sketches of her apartment layout, and even a hand-drawn map of Liam's gym. The stalker wasn't just a threat. She was a predator in planning mode. Emily's world shrank. She stopped answering calls from friends, refused to leave the house without Liam. Even their once harmonious relationship began to fracture. Emily accused Liam of hiding things, of lying, of knowing more than he admitted. She started finding reasons to doubt him. A late text from a coworker, a missed call from an unknown number. Every interaction became a potential betrayal. Every silence, a secret. But Sarah wasn't just breaking Emily's trust in Liam. She was rewriting Emily's reality entirely. In the fall of 2019, Emily's paranoia reached a breaking point. She found a note slipped under her apartment door. No handwriting, no return address, just a single sentence. "You're not alone." Emily screamed. She tore the note to pieces. Liam tried to calm her, but she was unraveling. "She's inside." Emily kept repeating, "She's in my head." The next morning, Liam discovered the note taped back together. Emily had glued the pieces to her laptop screen. Beneath it, she'd written in red ink, "She's watching. She's listening. She's waiting." Liam took her to the hospital. A psychiatrist diagnosed her with anxiety and recommended therapy, but Emily refused. "Therapy won't help," she said. "She's not in my head. She's in my life." Sarah's influence was seeping into every corner of Emily's world. Friends stopped visiting, unnerved by Emily's erratic behavior. Co-workers whispered about burnout. Even Liam began to doubt himself. He'd wake up to find Emily staring at him in the dark, whispering, "Do you hear her?" He'd shake her gently. "There's no one here," he'd say. But Emily wasn't so sure. She'd heard footsteps outside their door, faint, deliberate, like someone lingering just long enough to be noticed. And when she checked the hallway, empty. Then came the emails, not from Sarah, but from strangers, friends, family. even Liam's co-workers. Messages claiming Emily was unstable, that she needed help, that she was dangerous. Liam traced the emails to a burner account. The sender's IP address? Manchester, Sarah's neighborhood. The messages weren't warnings. They were sabotage. Sarah wasn't just watching Emily. She was erasing her. Emily's isolation became total. She stopped working, stopped answering the door. She spent hours scrolling through her phone, convinced Sarah was communicating with her through hidden codes in social media posts. One night, she pointed at a celebrity's Instagram photo and whispered, "See? She's telling me to run." Liam looked closer. The caption read, "Weekend getaway vibes." Emily shook her head. "She's in everything." Liam begged her to leave Manchester, to start fresh somewhere anonymous. But Emily refused. "If I run, she wins," she said. "I won't let her take my life." Liam agreed reluctantly, but he made a decision. He'd fight back. He'd find Sarah. He'd end this. Liam began his own investigation. He hired a detective, tracked IP addresses, even staked out Sarah's apartment, hoping to catch her in the act. But Sarah was always one step ahead. She'd disappear for weeks, only to resurface with more personal details about Emily's life. A message from Sarah once read, "He's planning to leave you. I'll be there when he does." Liam showed it to the detective. The man stared at the screen. "She's not just watching," he said. "She's manipulating, and she's winning." By late 2019, Emily's paranoia had turned to rage. She accused Liam of siding with Sarah, of conspiring against her, of knowing the truth and keeping it from her. Their arguments turned violent. Emily threw dishes, shattered a mirror. Liam moved to the guest room, exhausted by the accusations. But even there, he felt her eyes on him. One night, he woke to find Emily standing in the doorway. Her phone lit up her face. "She says you're weak," Emily whispered. Liam blinked. "Who does?" Emily didn't answer. She only stared. Then she turned and walked away. Sarah's grip on Emily's mind was absolute. She planted seeds of doubt that grew into full-blown delusions. Emily began talking to her like a friend. She'd muttered to her phone, "I know, Sarah, you're the only one who gets me." Liam listened from the hallway, heart pounding. This wasn't just a stalker. This was a puppeteer. And Emily was her marionette. On February 3rd, 2020, Liam returned home to find Emily pacing the living room. Her eyes were hollow. Her voice trembled. "She's here," Emily whispered. Liam followed her gaze to the window. Nothing. Just rain and the dim glow of streetlights. But Emily's hands shook as she handed him her phone. A new message from Sarah. Just 2 words. "I'm coming." The final days before the murder were the worst. Liam noticed Emily pacing constantly, whispering to herself. She refused to answer the door. She jumped at the sound of footsteps outside. One night, she woke Liam with a scream. "She's here," Emily cried. But the hallway was empty, or so it seemed. The next morning, Liam found a note taped to the front door, handwritten in neat looping script. "She's not yours." She never was. The police were no help. The note was untraceable. The camera footage showed nothing. But Liam knew Sarah was close. Too close. He begged Emily to leave with him, to disappear before it was too late. But Emily was exhausted. She whispered, "If she's going to kill me, let her. I can't live like this anymore." Liam held her, tears in his eyes. He didn't know it yet, but the countdown had begun. On March 15th, 2020, Liam returned home late from work. Emily had already gone to bed. As he walked inside, the lights flickered, then cut out completely. He reached for his phone, only to find it missing from his pocket. Then he heard the footsteps upstairs. Slow, deliberate, like the killer already knew he was coming. He climbed the stairs, heart pounding. When he opened the bedroom door, he froze. Emily was lying on the bed, unconscious. Blood stained the carpet, the walls, even the mirror above the dresser. Written in red lipstick, a single phrase, "She was never yours." Liam dropped to his knees beside her, sobbing. She was gone, and Sarah's plan had succeeded in the most brutal way possible. Sarah Delaney had spent years studying Emily, mapping her life, breaking her down. And when Emily was at her lowest, Sarah struck. She didn't just want Emily's life. She wanted to erase everything Emily stood for, to prove that love, trust, and connection were illusions. And she did it with a level of precision that left even detectives stunned. This was no random act of violence. This was calculated, premeditated. Sarah didn't just kill Emily. She destroyed her. And in the process, she left a warning for anyone who thought their life was private. In the age of social media, nothing is hidden forever. And sometimes, the people we think are strangers know us better than we know ourselves. Have you ever felt like someone was inside your head, watching your every move? Share your thoughts in the comments. When Sarah Delaney was finally arrested, she didn't fight back. She didn't plead innocence. She didn't even resist. Instead, she smiled, a slow, unsettling grin, as if she'd been expecting this all along. Police found her sitting calmly in her flat, surrounded by the remnants of her obsession. Printouts of Emily's photos, handwritten notes detailing every step of the murder, and a chilling discovery. A box filled with Emily's belongings, including her hair clip, a pair of her shoes, and even a receipt from the cafe where Emily used to sit. Sarah had preserved these items like trophies, relics of a life she'd stolen piece by piece. During her interrogation, Sarah spoke in a monotone voice, offering short, detached responses. Detectives asked why she targeted Emily. Her answer, she was mine. When pressed about the murder, she shrugged. I didn't want her to suffer. I wanted her to be free. Her lack of remorse stunned even the most seasoned officers. But what truly disturbed them was her fixation on Liam. He ruined her, Sarah whispered. I had to fix it. Psychiatrists who evaluated Sarah later testified that she suffered from a severe personality disorder. They describe her as a woman trapped in her own delusion, a warped belief that Emily was meant to be hers. One expert stated, Sarah didn't see herself as a killer. She saw herself as a liberator. In her mind, she was saving Emily from Liam. But the court didn't buy it. Her actions were too calculated, too deliberate, to be dismissed as mere insanity. The trial began in late 2020. Prosecutors painted Sarah as a predator who methodically dismantled Emily's life before taking it. They presented digital evidence, GPS data placing her near Emily's home, encrypted messages between her fake accounts, and even a map she'd drawn of Liam's gym. But the most damning exhibit was her laptop. Inside, detectives found a folder labeled Phase 3, a detailed plan for Emily's murder. It included step-by-step instructions for the attack, diagrams of Emily's apartment layout, and even a note, make sure he watches. Defense attorneys argued that Sarah was mentally unstable, incapable of distinguishing reality from fantasy. They called experts to the stand, who described her condition as paranoid-type delusional disorder. One psychiatrist testified, Sarah believed she and Emily were destined to be together. She saw Liam as an obstacle, not a person. In her mind, removing him was necessary. But jurors weren't convinced. The evidence was too precise, too brutal, too intentional. The prosecution struck back with a single question. If this was love, why did she wait until Emily was at her weakest? The answer lay in Sarah's journal entries. One read, she's breaking. Soon, she'll be ready. Another, he's making her worse. I have to act now. Sarah hadn't acted out of passion. She'd acted out of calculation. And the jury saw it. The trial's turning point came when Liam took the stand. He described the relentless harassment, the messages, the sightings, the note taped to their door. His voice trembled as he read the phrase aloud. She's not yours. She never was. He paused, staring directly at Sarah. You stole her from me. You made her feel like she was going crazy. And then you killed her. Sarah didn't flinch. She simply watched him, her expression unreadable. But the most haunting moment came when prosecutors played audio from Sarah's phone. It was a voicemail she'd left for herself, a self-recorded message dated March 14th, 2020. In it, Sarah whispered, tomorrow, she'll be mine. Tomorrow, he'll know the truth. The courtroom fell silent. Even the judge looked shaken. On December 17th, 2021, the jury delivered its verdict. Guilty of murder. Sarah showed no emotion. Not when the judge slammed the gavel. Not when officers escorted her out. Not even when the sentence was read. Life in prison, with a minimum term of 25 years. She simply turned the gallery and mouthed two words. She's free. The sentence marked the end of a long, harrowing case. But for Liam, the nightmare lingered. He attended the trial every day, sitting alone in the front row. When asked why, he said, "I needed to see her face. I needed to know she understood what she did." But Sarah never did. To the end, she believed she'd done the right thing. That Emily belonged to her. That Liam had been the villain. Sarah Delaney's story serves as a grim reminder of the dangers lurking behind our screens. She wasn't a stranger in the shadows. She was a woman in plain sight, hiding in plain sight. And she used the very tools we trust, social media, GPS, private messages, to destroy a life. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this deep dive, hit subscribe and check out for our next video.